Imagine a modern F-35 fighter jet suddenly appears over the skies of World War II. It's 1943. A German Luftwaffe pilot is flying his Messerschmitt Bf-109, one of the best fighters of the war. Suddenly, he sees something on his radar. Something fast. Something he doesn't understand. The F-35 appears, invisible to radar, moving at supersonic speed, armed with missiles that can kill from miles away. The German pilot never sees the F-35, never hears it, never has a chance to react. A missile launches. The German fighter is destroyed in an instant. It would be like ancient warriors, with spears facing soldiers with machine guns. It would be complete and utter dominance, one-sided slaughter. But what would really happen if a modern F-35 entered World War II? How would it perform? What would change? How would history be different? Today, we're going to explore 15 scenarios of what would happen if an F-35 entered World War II. If you're interested in military history, weapons technology, alternate history scenarios, and how equipment determines outcomes in warfare, subscribe to Surprising. Every week, we explore the what-if scenarios that reshape our understanding of history. We ask the questions that force us to think about causation and consequence. Subscribe now so you don't miss our next video. Turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. And thanks for watching. The answer reveals something profound about technological advantage, about how weapons determine outcomes, about how the course of history can be changed by a single technological innovation. Reason 15: radar invisibility. They can't see what they can't see. The F-35 is designed with stealth technology, radar-absorbing materials, shaped fuselage. This design makes the F-35 nearly invisible to radar systems. The German Luftwaffe relied heavily on radar to detect incoming aircraft. They had developed sophisticated radar systems, but these systems were primitive by modern standards, could be easily overwhelmed, could be easily confused. The F-35's stealth design would render these radar systems nearly useless. German radar operators would be staring at screens that showed nothing. While the F-35 flew overhead at 30,000 feet, without radar detection, the Luftwaffe would have no warning of incoming attacks. Fighters couldn't be scrambled. Air defenses couldn't be alerted. Populations couldn't be warned. The F-35 would be completely undetectable until it was directly overhead, or had already struck. German fighters could be scrambled, but they wouldn't know where the threat was coming from, would be flying blind, hoping to get lucky and spot the F-35 visually. But at 30,000 feet, traveling at supersonic speed, visual detection would be nearly impossible. The F-35 could attack targets anywhere in Europe, and German air defense would be helpless, would have no warning, no ability to respond, no way to counter. Radar invisibility would give the F-35 absolute dominance over the skies, would make the F-35 essentially untouchable. Reason 14: supersonic speed. Nothing they have can match it. The F-35 can travel at supersonic speed, faster than the speed of sound, Mach 1.6 at maximum speed, approximately 1,200 miles per hour at altitude. In comparison, the fastest World War II fighter, the German Me-262 jet fighter, could reach about 540 miles per hour. The F-35 is more than twice as fast as the fastest World War II jet fighter. And the Me-262 was exceptionally rare. Most German fighters were piston-engine aircraft that topped out at 400 miles per hour. The F-35 would be moving at 3 times the speed of a typical German fighter. More importantly, the F-35 can maintain supersonic speed while fighting, while maneuvering, while engaging in combat. A World War II fighter trying to chase an F-35 would be like a bicycle trying to chase a car. The F-35 could fly past German fighters at twice their maximum speed, could attack and be gone before they even realized they were under attack, could attack from any direction, could approach from above, could attack from below, could disengage just as quickly, could accelerate away from any threat. The speed advantage would be overwhelming and completely insurmountable. A German pilot would be completely unable to catch the F-35, completely unable to close to firing range. The F-35 could dictate all terms of engagement. Reason 13: air-to-air missiles, shooting from miles away. The F-35 carries modern air-to-air missiles, the AIM-120 AMRAAM Advanced Medium-Range Air-to-Air Missiles. These missiles can be fired from over 40 miles away. That's over 64 kilometers. They can lock onto targets beyond visual range, can track and kill targets that the pilot can't even see. The missile's computer guidance system would home in on the target, would track it, would strike it. The F-35 pilot could fire and never actually see the target aircraft. A German Bf-109 fighter would be flying along, completely unaware, patrolling German airspace. Suddenly, a missile locked onto it. A missile the pilot would never see coming. The pilot would have no warning, would have no chance to react, would have no time to evade. The aircraft would be struck. The pilot would die. World War II fighters had machine guns, could kill from about 500 meters away if the target was stationary. The F-35 can kill from 40 miles away. While both planes are moving at high speed, while the F-35 is traveling faster than sound, the German pilots would be shooting pea shooters at a nuclear arsenal. The disparity would be so enormous that it would render German air combat tactics completely obsolete. Reason 12. Advanced avionics and sensor systems. Perfect information. The F-35 has advanced sensor systems, sophisticated radar, infrared detection, electronic warfare systems, electro-optical targeting. The pilot has access to perfect information about everything around him: where the enemy is, what the enemy is doing, how fast the enemy is moving, where the enemy is headed. The F-35 sensors can detect aircraft hundreds of miles away. World War II pilots had to rely on their eyes, on visual contact, on radio reports from ground observers. The visual range was limited, maybe 10 to 20 miles in good conditions. The F-35 pilot could be flying through clouds, completely unable to see anything visually, and still know exactly where every German fighter within 100 miles was located. Could know their altitude, could know their speed, could know their heading, could engage them with complete information advantage, could plan tactics based on perfect knowledge of the situation. The German pilots would be flying blind, would be reacting to threats they couldn't see, would be operating without any information about where the danger was. The information advantage would be absolutely overwhelming. Reason 11. Armor and protection. They can't penetrate. The F-35 is heavily armored, constructed from modern materials, protected by composite armor against small arms fire and shrapnel. German machine guns firing tracer rounds couldn't penetrate the F-35's armor. Even if a German fighter somehow managed to get behind the F-35 and fire its guns, the bullets wouldn't penetrate. The bullets would ricochet off, would bounce harmlessly away. The F-35 can take enormous amounts of damage and still fly, can still return to base. German fighters were lightly armored, designed for speed, designed for maneuverability. A few hits and they would go down. A few hits and the pilot would be dead. The F-35 pilot could take fire without fear, could absorb punishment that would destroy any World War II fighter. Reason 10. Electronic warfare capabilities. They can't even communicate. The F-35 has sophisticated electronic warfare capabilities. Can jam radar, can jam radio communications, can disrupt enemy communications completely, can create false targets, can confuse enemy systems. German air defenses depended on radar, depended on radio communications between pilots, depended on coordination. The F-35 could jam German radar, making air defense impossible. Radar operators would be staring at screens filled with false targets, wouldn't know what was real, wouldn't be able to guide fighters to intercept, wouldn't be able to coordinate anti-aircraft defense. The F-35 could jam radio communications, preventing German pilots from coordinating with each other. Pilots wouldn't be able to communicate, couldn't coordinate attacks, couldn't warn each other of danger, could essentially paralyze German air defense without firing a shot, without attacking anything. The electronic warfare advantage would be absolute. Reason 9. Ground attack capability. Flying artillery. The F-35 isn't just a fighter. It's also a ground attack aircraft, a multi-role combat aircraft. Can carry bombs, can carry air-to-ground missiles, can attack targets on the ground with incredible precision, could destroy German airfields, could destroy radar stations, could destroy anti-aircraft positions, could destroy command centers, could destroy supply depots, could destroy industrial facilities, could take out entire military installations with a single pass, or a series of passes. German air defense would be helpless, couldn't shoot at something moving at supersonic speed, couldn't track something that was invisible to radar, couldn't intercept something that was twice as fast as their fighters. The F-35 could systematically destroy German military infrastructure from the air. Reason 8. Internal fuel and range. Can travel vast distances. The F-35 has exceptional range, can fly hundreds of miles on internal fuel alone, doesn't need to refuel as often as World War II fighters, can operate farther from its base, could operate from bases in England and reach targets deep in Germany, could reach targets in Poland, could reach Berlin, could provide air support for ground forces across entire continents, could patrol vast areas. German fighters had limited range, couldn't operate as far from their bases, had to stay within a certain radius. The F-35's range advantage would allow it to operate anywhere, to strike targets anywhere in German-controlled territory. Reason 7. Pilot training and experience. Knowing how to use it. A modern F-35 pilot has spent thousands of hours in flight simulators, has trained for every possible scenario, has been trained in advanced tactics, in supersonic flight, in air combat at modern speeds, has been trained to use all the F-35's advanced systems, to understand what the aircraft is capable of. A World War II pilot had less training, had less experience with advanced systems, had to learn through trial and error. The F-35 pilot would be facing enemies who were less trained, less experienced with modern aircraft, would be operating an incredibly complex aircraft that his opponents had never encountered before, didn't know how to fight, didn't understand the capabilities of, didn't have tactics to counter. Reason 6. Situational awareness. Seeing the entire battlefield. The F-35 pilot can see the entire battlefield through the aircraft's advanced sensor systems and data fusion, can see where all the friendly forces are, can see their positions, can see their movements, can see where all the enemy forces are, can see their positions, can see their movements, can predict their actions, can see the overall situation, can understand the strategic picture. World War II pilots had limited situational awareness, could only see what was nearby, could only see what was within visual range. The F-35 pilot would always have complete information advantage, would understand the situation better than any opponent. Reason 5. Fuel efficiency and endurance, staying up longer. The F-35 is fuel efficient, modern engine technology, aerodynamic design, can stay in the air for hours, can patrol continuously, can fly multiple sorties in a single day. World War II fighters could stay in the air for maybe an hour or two, sometimes 3 if conditions were right. Required frequent refueling, required landings and rearming. The F-35 could patrol continuously, could protect an area all day, could respond to threats immediately, without needing to refuel, without needing to land, without needing to interrupt operations. Reason 4. Self-defense systems. Protecting itself. The F-35 has active and passive self-defense systems. Sophisticated systems that detect threats automatically, can deploy countermeasures, can evade missiles automatically, can take evasive action faster than any pilot could react. If a German flak gun tried to shoot it down, the F-35 systems could automatically detect the threat, could automatically deploy chaff and flares, could automatically maneuver to evade. The pilot wouldn't even need to react. The aircraft would protect itself. German fighters had no such systems, had to rely on the pilot's reaction time, on the pilot's ability to see the threat and react. Reason 3. Weapons payload, carrying enormous firepower. The F-35 can carry a large payload of weapons, missiles, bombs, guns, rockets, can carry more firepower than entire squadrons of World War II fighters combined, could destroy multiple targets in a single sortie, could attack aircraft, could attack ground targets, could attack ships, could conduct multiple combat missions without returning to base for rearming. Reason 2. Maintenance and reliability. It just works. The F-35 is highly reliable. Modern materials, modern engineering, modern manufacturing. Doesn't break down as often as World War II aircraft. Modern engines are incredibly reliable, can be maintained by a small team of technicians with proper training and equipment. World War II aircraft required extensive maintenance, required specialized parts, required constant repairs. Engines would fail, systems would break, aircraft would be grounded for repairs. The F-35 would have fewer mechanical issues, would be more available for combat, would spend less time being repaired. Reason 1, technological superiority across the board. They have no answer. Most importantly, the F-35 would be superior to every World War II aircraft in every single way. Faster than any fighter, more heavily armed than any fighter, better protected than any fighter, better sensors, better systems, better avionics, better engines, better everything. The Germans would have no answer, would have no counter, would have no way to fight back, could try to shoot it down with anti-aircraft guns, could fail, could lose soldiers trying, could try to intercept it with fighters, could fail, could lose aircraft trying, could try to avoid it, could hide, could do anything, but the F-35 would still dominate the skies, would still be able to attack, would still be able to accomplish its objectives. A single F-35 could essentially take control of the skies over an entire region, could prevent any German aircraft from flying, could prevent any bombing raids on German territory, could attack any target it wanted. The technological gap would be so enormous, so insurmountable, that Germany would have no way to respond.